Hello, today we're voting in the r/anime awards, the Reddit anime awards. I would have done a video on the Crunchyroll ones, but for some reason they're doing them in May, and they're also just not good in general. The Reddit ones usually have a much better range of shows and genres and award categories, and isn't just a popularity vote compared to Crunchyroll. I'm expecting probably Solo Leveling Season 2 and the Demon Slayer movie or the Chainsaw Man movie to sort of sweep the awards over there. I think the My Hero Academia final season as well, in terms of popularity. Those like the four that sort of stand out above the rest. But yeah, we're gonna do just do some voting, just chill, talk about 2025 anime. It was a good year. If you've seen my tier list, obviously you'd understand my sort of place on a lot of these shows, but we can kind of get into the specifics more with having to vote on different categories or something like that. So yeah, let's just get into it. Starting with the genre, we're going to do the genre awards, then the production, then the characters, and then we'll go to the main awards at the end. So action. This is a pretty easy one for me. Out of the nominees, by the way, I've seen Gundam, Chainsaw Man, Dan Season 2, Solo Leveling Season 2, and Star Wars Visions Season 3. Out of the rest that I'm not aware of, I know that Yaiba has good animation. Gachiakta I know is pretty well renowned, the manga's pretty respected. The adaptation visually didn't really catch my eye. I watched the first season of Panty and Stocking with Garterbelt, but I wasn't too interested in sort of continuing it. It's a fun show, but it's not really one I didn't need more of it, essentially. I kind of had enough where we got with there. And My Hero, I got to season 5 in the anime, and then I haven't continued from there. I know it gets better after that, but it's a show that doesn't really appeal to me. So for me, this is quite an easy one. Chainsaw Man, easily. Dan action, I don't think it's very good. It's fine, but I don't think it's well choreographed, and the animation can be pretty good, but the composition isn't always great. The color scheme, it's a bit hit or miss at times. Gundam action, it was fine, but it wasn't anything special. So 11 Season 2 had some great moments for sure, towards the end especially, and in the middle there was some cool action sequences, but in terms of like animation and everything like that, Chainsaw Man easily kind of beats out on action for me. Lots of a variety of action sequences as well, hand to hand, explosive, bombastic, or sense of scale. The animation, the direction, the music, everything about Chainsaw Man movie was perfect. Action, of course, with that as well. So action is quite an easy one there. Adventure, okay. I have only seen Zenshu here, and I saw 3 episodes of it before dropping. So I'm not going to vote in this one. I'm kind of surprised to see a category that I haven't seen anything. But then when I think back on last year, adventure shows, I can't really think of many. I suppose you could maybe count Orb's Second Core, but it's not really an adventure at all. Yeah, there wasn't any adventure shows I was interested in last year. And out of the nominees here, there's not really anything I'm interested in, so I'm just going to move on to comedy. Okay, comedy. So from here, I watched City the Animation. I watched Ega no Tenai Shokubu Desu and Ninkoro. In terms of the other nominees here, I've heard good things about Milky Subway. I've heard really good things about that. 100 Girlfriends as well, I think is something I'm a bit interested in and might get into at some point. Bad Girl I didn't really hear anything about. Konosuba, I watched the first 2 seasons of the movie. Not for me, don't really like it. Witch Watch, I've read a decent amount of chapters in the manga. Again, not for me, it's fine. But Grand Blue, I've read some of the manga, and season 1, And again, it's just not really for me. It's the kind of thing with comedy shows where they either hit or they miss. And Spy Family, I watched 2 seasons. First season was good fun. Second season, yeah, not much really. I was interested in there. So out of the ones I know, City Animation, Ninkoro, and Egal no Tenai Shokubu desu, I probably would go for Ninkoro here in terms of comedy, just pure how much it made me laugh. While City Animation for sure is the better production. That's a stunning show to watch, like an achievement in the medium. Ninkoro I just found more enjoyable. I like the characters more. The comedy sort of landed with me more. I think it was the way it kind of balanced a really deadpan, almost dark, edging on dark comedy with some just ridiculous stuff that shouldn't have made any sense. I think was really great. The production was really fun as well. It was Shaft. There was certainly some episodes that you could tell it was some really good Shaft stuff there. But I'm very happy to vote for Ninkoro here for comedy. And I'm trying to think of anything else that maybe could have been in this category comedy-wise. I don't think there's anything else. I think they've covered a good ground here in terms of comedic shows last year. So yeah, I guess Watanabe you could add, but I think there's more. No, I think Watanabe absolutely could have been a comedy, but I guess there's more drama and romance there. We might see it in the next 2 categories. But yeah, Ninkoro for that one, comedy. Is it going to vote? There we go. Now we have drama. And there are some shows here. I'm familiar with everything here, luckily. The only thing I haven't actually watched is Medalist and My Melody and Kurumi. I've heard My Melody and Kurumi is really good. Medalist, I want to check out the manga for that. It's nothing to do with the CG. I think it's the other aspects of the production that don't really interest me, and the designs don't translate too well from what I've seen from the manga. I've read the first chapter, but apart from that, I'm unfamiliar with the series. But I'm definitely going to read Medalist at some point. I've heard really great things about it, so no knocking against the anime here when I vote for something else. Orb, Bunny Girl Senpai, Uma Musume, Silent Witch, Fujimoto Tatsuki 1726, Apocalypse Hotel, Rockwell Lady, and Bang Dream Avimujika. Some good nominations for drama. I think Orb, especially Orb, Avimujika, and Fujimoto Tatsuki. I guess in Cinderella Grey. I kind of put Cinderella Grey more into sports, and it would be a drama. So yeah, Cinderella Grey definitely falls into that. I assume when they say Cinderella Grey, they mean part 1 and part 2 here. So Apocalypse Hotel, I wouldn't put into drama. I've just realised that absolutely should have been a comedy, shouldn't it? Why wasn't Apocalypse Hotel in comedy? I feel like it leaned way more into that. Whatever. Unfortunately, it's not going to get my vote here because there's some really strong shows here. I don't like Rockwell Lady. I don't think it's very good. Silent Witch, I read the light novel for it, watched the first couple of episodes. It's a bit plain. And Bunny Girl Senpai, unfortunately, this season wasn't very interesting. The new characters I didn't think were great. So really it's between Orb, Uma Musume, Avimujika, and Fujimoto Tatsuki. Apocalypse Hotel, I can't vote for it as a drama. I'll vote for it as a comedy, but not a drama. And of course, if you're familiar with myself on the channel, you know I'm going to vote Avimujika. So I just want to give a shout out to Orb and how amazing the drama is, and how amazing of a show that is. Uma Musume Cinderella Grey, I love Uma Musume as well. The manga, the stuff that hopefully gets adapted in like season 3 and 4 is going to be absolutely phenomenal. And Fujimoto Tatsuki 1726 was great as well. It was a really fun time. I think all of them delivered on some sort of level, all 8 episodes. But for drama, it absolutely has to be Avimujika here. There really isn't much competition for me, unfortunately. I think The Summer Hikaru Died could have definitely been in this category, but I assume it might be in suspense, most likely. So yeah, drama, Avimujika. And then we have romance. Okay, so I'm up to date with Blue Box manga. It's fine. It's just fine. I really haven't got too much positive or negative to say about it. It just kind of exists. It's nothing special, but it's a fun time to sort of read weekly. Dress Up Darling Season 2, love it. Love the show, love the premise, everything about it, the production, the drama, the romance. It's all really, really great stuff. Summer Pocket, I'm not familiar with. I know it's Key, so it didn't really interest me. I kind of get the impression the Key adaptations for one aren't the best, and for two kind of end up covering similar grounds to each other, but I haven't seen that, so I'm not going to comment too much on it. Watanabe, I didn't include in my 2025 tier list because I hadn't watched it then. I just finished the main season of Watanabe just this week, or last week, and I loved it. I really, really loved it. I'll come on to this in a bit. And then Karuhana, caught up with the manga. Good adaptation, very solid, good fun time, great romance. These two in the bottom right I'm not familiar with. Doesn't help that they're in the Japanese names, so I might not know them, but if they're in English I possibly would. Watanabe, I've read the manga, caught up on the manga. I think the manga's alright, it's good. Adaptation didn't do much for me, unfortunately. And My Happy Marriage, season 1 was fine. I didn't like the drama in it at all, and the romance was nice, so I wasn't really interested in moving on to season 2. The Lenticulars I've heard good things about as well. I need to watch that. I know is it Amemiya from Trigger? Maybe his show? I'm not too sure. I know it's a famous Trigger animator who has done this, so I need to check this out. But for me, this category is between My Dress Up Darling Season 2 and Watanabe. And my god is it close, my god is it hard to decide between these two. I'll talk a bit about Watanabe because I obviously haven't spoken about it on the channel at all. I loved it. I kind of loved it way more than I expected to. I initially kind of passed up on it because I saw the character designs and assumed it was by the writer of Whisper Me a Love Song, which I have read the manga for. I don't like it. I don't think it's great. I think it's pretty plain and nothing special about it. Just that it's Yuri, so that's makes it different from a regular heterosexual romance. It kind of has more appeal to people there, but if it wasn't, there'd be nothing interesting about that series. So, but this isn't. It's just the artist that done the character designs for the light novel or the manga, the light novel. But I originally passed up on this. I really regret doing that because I came back to it, like I said, last week, and I had such a good time of it. The opening and ending is so fun, it's stuck in my head. The characters I think are really great. I love Renako, I love Satsuki, I love Ajisai. Mai is great too. I know Kato, the blue-haired one, or light blue. I know her arc is in the extra 5 episodes / movie thing, which I might end up watching after I record this. Actually, I need to get around to it. But I had such a good time with Watanabe. I think the drama's amazing. I think the characters are fun. The comedy's great. Visually, it's way better than I thought it was going to be. They're able to do a lot with obviously not too much animation. That sort of dynamic, engaging production where it switches styles and has a very just fun comedic sense to it. And again, it's just more than your sort of trashy harem romance, really. There's more there. There's more underneath all of that. And you get all the fun aspects of trashy harem alongside some really genuine character work and some really genuine dynamics and relationships being built up here. I'm really excited for whatever comes next with this show. But saying that, My Dress Up Darling Season 2 is also a absolutely phenomenal show. Not great on Season 1, both visually and from the romance side of things, almost I'd say as well. We introduced a lot of new cast of characters, and they were great. Had some really standout eps, like the episode with the cross-dressing cosplayer and the student festival episode, school festival episode, and the whole thing with the nun game cosplay. But man, it's tough to pick between the two. I think I'm going to go with Masanale. That might be a bit of recency bias, but I think as a romance as well, there's more interesting things going on here than there is in Dress Up Darling Season 2. I think the romance in Dress Up Darling Season 2, while I think it's compelling, I don't want to say it's being dragged out a bit because I don't mind that sort of thing, but it feels a bit will they, won't they? Masanale just fucking commits to it fully, and I appreciate it for that. It doesn't hold back, it doesn't... While there's a lot of angst and drama, there's also very much lots of actual romance in the forefront too. So I'm going to go Watanabe for this. Really glad I ended up watching that in time for this. So yeah, romance. Slice of life. From what I've seen here, I've seen Rui no Hozuki, Licorice Recoil, the little like extra thing, Mono, Kimi no Ero, Soraya Utility, and the Love Live Nijigasaki first movie. I've heard really good things about... Is it Hibimeshi? People call it Hibimeshi. I've heard really good things about that, and I've heard good things about the food court anime as well. I know that one's short as well. I should probably get around to watching that. In terms of the others, I think it's unfair to have this in the award, because Kimi no Ero is just a step above the others in like every single way. While I really enjoy Rui no Hozuki, Soraya Utility, and the Nijigasaki movie in terms of as a slice of life and a fun time with a great cast of characters and also great production as well. Mono 2, I wish it kind of leaned into more of the camera stuff. It said it was going to do the photography stuff, but it didn't. It's whatever. But Kimi no Ero, phenomenal movie. Technically came out the year before, but I guess it's on here. So, yeah, that wins it for me for Slice of Life. It's such an incredible time. Yamada, the trio Yamada, Yoshida, and Ushio, they're just unstoppable, really. If they're on a production together, it's going to be one of the best things I've ever seen, to be honest. I got to rewatch that movie as well because it's just beautiful in every single way. I can't recommend it enough. Kimi no Ero, best Slice of Life. Suspense. Oh, we got some good shows here. From what I've seen everything here except Hanako and Black Butler. I think that's Black Butler. Kuro Shitsuji. That sounds like, I'm pretty sure it is. In terms of the rest, I'm not a big fan of Apothecary Diaries or Takapi, or even the ReZero season. They're all, I know, very highly regarded, popular shows, but they don't really work for me too much. Sander was a great time. Had a really fun time with Sander. That definitely could have gone into action as well, I think, or even drama. Hikaru, some Hikaru Died, obviously, wrapped up my channel. Amazing show, incredible show, and Call of the Night Season 2, and a huge upgrade on Season 1. Really, just the character work in Season 2 was phenomenal. I can't compliment sort of Sander, Hikaru, and Call of the Night Season 2 enough, because they're three really fantastic shows. Like, I can't recommend them enough. Super unique, nothing quite like them out there. But for me, it's between Shoshimin and Mononoke. And they're both incredible, both great production, both great suspense. I have to give it to Shoshimin here, because I think as a suspense, it left me every week wanting more and trying to pick apart what was going on and trying to unpack what was happening. Whereas Mononoke, it was a different kind of suspense. It felt like I was just caught in the whirlwind of everything going on here. You don't have time to sort of sit and unpack what's going on and try to figure it out. You're just, the way the production is, the way that the show progresses, you're just thrust into this world, and it's just like a crazy experience. But Shoshimin as a suspense, I think, works more. Mononoke is the better production, I'd say. Visually, incredibly unique. If you're familiar with the series, you'll obviously know that. But Shoshimin's second season, Osanai, one of the greatest to ever do it. Against Shoshimin. Production awards, animation. Now I have seen all of these except Yaiba and Panty and Stocking. I think this has to go to City the Animation. What that achieved is between these two. It's between City Animation and Dress Up Darling for sure, or Takabe. I think what City the Animation do is unique. There is nothing on these nominees, or in anime in recent years that have accomplished what City the Animation has animation-wise. And while these are all very good looking, bar maybe done, I don't think it's the best. I don't think it really should be here, but City the Animation, I think, wins this. It's tough to vote for it over Dress Down Season 2 and Takabe because they are two incredible productions as well, but I've never seen anything like City Animation. I've seen shows like Takabe and Dress Up or movies like any productions like these two. I've never seen anything like this. Obviously, you can compare it to Nichijou. That was a long time ago. That was also even then, the sort of the colours and the composition and every single detail is just a level above here. It has to be. I can't. There's no way I can not vote this Kyoani production here. Background art. Now I haven't seen, obviously, the ones I mentioned, these two, and then Anne Shirley and Colin Generic Romance. In terms of backgrounds, it might just be City the Animation again. I think Apocalypse Hotel is gorgeous at times as well. Oh, I'm tempted to go Apocalypse Hotel here. This is a really tough one. I don't think it's the Some Hikaru Died. I don't think it has a strong use of backgrounds. While they're very pretty and they're good looking, they don't elevate the production to a level as something like City the Animation or Apocalypse Hotel does. Takabe, I think, is similar. There's a lot of detail there, but it thrives in other areas more so than backgrounds. I think Rui no Huzuki is a great shout for background art, but I think I just have to give it to City the Animation again, because that show's just way too good looking from top to bottom. It's hard to really vote against it here. And character design. I'm really upset that Ave Mujika isn't here, to be honest. I think the character designs in Ave Mujika are phenomenal. Even shows from Season 2, I think, are phenomenal. And there's probably other shows that I think deserve to be here. Uma Musume, I think, have amazing designs as well. For me, out of what's here, I think it's Gundam G-Cux, or G-Cux I like to call it. Or Sawari Utility. I think utility designs are great, but I really love the Gundam aesthetic. I think it sort of kept me watching the show, despite all the underwhelming stuff around it. It's an incredibly good looking show, and the character designs are no exception there. I think I'm very happy to vote for this if Ave Mujika isn't here. So yeah. Cinematography. See, I don't think City Animation in a cinematography sense is any better than some of these here. I think there are better shows in that sense here. I guess it's sort of like directing. I think it is one of these four here. I want to give it to Hikaru, to be honest. The suspense that show was able to sort of, but Takabe also really is strong in that area. This is tough, man. Because my bias is like Hikaru, because I just prefer that show. And I think what Hikaru does with all the inner mind stuff is incredible. Fuck. I'm being biased, I'm just voting Hikaru. Sorry. Soundtrack now. Now this is between two for me, quite easily. It's between Hikaru and Orb. I think Hikaru has some really iconic soundtracks, some tracks here. You'll know if you see my reactions. There's certain tracks that when they start, they just instantly make me cry. There's also some really great chaotic tracks. Orb similarly has some really strong tracks, and while I don't think it's one of Ushio's best works, luckily Ushio is just the greatest to ever do it. So one of his best is still amazing and still better than a lot of stuff we see in the industry. Again, I think Avin Ridger should be here. The soundtrack in that show is phenomenal. I'm really surprised it isn't, to be honest. But I think I'm going with Hikaru here. I really, really loved the soundtrack for this show. I think it's perfect for it. There's tracks here that I come back to more often than anything else here. So yeah, another award there. Voice acting performance. Okay, first of all, I'm really upset that there is no Reina Ueda with Reze, and again, no Avin Mujika nominations here. You could nominate any of the 5 Avin Mujika characters, but Yuzumun Watase Yuzuki as Mortis and Mutsumi very comfortably clears everything here, if I'm being quite honest. Regardless, I really enjoy Minori Fujidera as Hana Haruyama in Hanashura. I really like Kenji Suda as Novak, Miyuki Sashiro as Anko, and obviously Hinako Tsukida as Marin. Even Miyu Takabe as Minami in Sora Utility. This is tough. This is really tough because I don't love these performances. I really like them all, the ones I just mentioned. So that none of them really stand out to me too much. I think I'm leaning towards Minori Fujidera as Hana Haruyama, but Kenjiro Suda as Novak I think is a really, really strong performance. Every time he was on screen, he was unsettling. Every word that came out of his mouth was unlike anything. I think I have to go to Suda, and it is unfortunate. I'm kind of Miyu Takagi and Minori Fujidera, because I know they're sort of newbies in the industry. They've done an incredible job there with those two. Miyuki Sashiro as well. These are like 2 veterans here who I think put in veteran performances, but Novak for me just kind of edges out a little bit there. Opening. This is quite easy for me, unfortunately. It is Shoshimin Series Season 2. The opening is ridiculous. I don't know how you even come up with an opening like that, the song, super catchy. While Iris Out is great, I love the song, I don't think the visuals are anything crazy, because it is kind of like a movie introduction kind of thing, rather than a typical OP. I love Masayoshi Oshii's Sora Utility OP as well, Skirt, Mirage, and Aotu Kurameki, all great openings as well. But this is quite comfortably Yoroshika's Martian with the Shoshimin Series second series OP. I think Chiramune should be here, because that is very close to it as well. I love that opening. Ending. It's interesting that Chiramune's ending is here, but not the opening. I love the ending for that as well. Again, no Avin Rijika. It's whatever. Contrast is good. Anata Kaibutsu Hikaru, great. Kawaii Kaiwai is incredible. Nemode I don't really like. I is also incredible as an ending. Jane Doe, incredible again. It's hard for me to vote for that because there isn't visuals to go along with it, but that song, oh my god, that song. For me, out of these here, it's Kawaii Kaiwai. Both the song is incredible, so catchy. It's been in my rotation a long time since that came out, and we got Vivinos and Qmeng on the illustrations here from Alien Stage, so A little bit of bias there. But I wasn't familiar with them at that point anyway. I know I absolutely was, but it was really cool to see them illustrating an anime production here. So I'm going to go with Kawaii. Character awards. Okay. Main character or protagonist. Good nominations here. No, Sakiko is unfortunate, but I can't complain with these nominations either. Yoshiki is incredible. Oguri Cap, incredible. Yachiyo, incredible. Marine, incredible. Love those four. Love those four an awful lot. I'm going to have to give it to Reze because I read the arc for the Chainsaw Man movie manga. I'm caught up on the Chainsaw Man manga, but the Reze arc didn't do much for me in the manga. I liked it, but it didn't do too much for me. The movie elevated it to another level. It became probably my favourite arc in the series, and that was largely due to Reze as a character. Reina Ueda's performance as Reze, I just kind of adore. As a character, though, Oguri Cap is the thing is Oguri Cap is up there, but only because of the stuff recently in the manga. I think in these 2 seasons of the anime, she's not one of the best characters. She's fine, pretty standard, not much there to her, I think, in these first 2 seasons. So I'm gonna have to rule her out, unfortunately. Yachiyo is awesome. It's between Yoshiki and Reze, because Yoshiki I relate to quite heavily with his general demeanour and his sort of outlook. But Reze is really hot and really cool. I think it's got to be the Manic Pixie Girl Reze. It's hard for me to vote against that, really. Yeah. Sorry, the rest of the... Okay, supporting character. Again, no. Ave Mujika. Whatever. I like Roran, I like Hina, even though I haven't watched the anime. Belno, amazing. Beam, super cool. Kabura, amazing character. Ponko was super fun. Shiori was a great character. I love her design, love her just like general character, like sort of aesthetic as a character. Really cool, really unique. Subaru, my favourite in Karuhana. Really good choices here, honestly. I don't like Bakugo though, unfortunately. But this is quite comfortably Osanai's category here. Her demeanour, her general presence on screen is nothing like I've ever seen for a show like this. In that first arc, she was scary every time she was on screen. Hina Yumiya also puts in just a phenomenal performance as Yuki Osanai. While I do love all the characters here, apart from Bakugo, Yuki Osanai is at kind of a level above the rest for me. She's in my favourites in any list, so it's hard for me to kind of vote against like Subaru, Kabura, Belno. I love those guys a lot, but Osanai, different breed really. Ensemble cast. Again, no Ave Mujika. Whatever. It seems like I'm really salty, but I don't care that much. I'm glad it got some recognition in the awards in the first place, because I'm sure in the Crunchyroll Awards it's not going to get anything. But I think Ave Mujika has a cast of 10 plus characters should be here, but especially over some of the shows I'm seeing here, this is quite comfortably Orb for me. I really enjoy the cast in Orb. I really enjoy their roles. Enjoy them as much as characters, as well as sort of plot devices as well. They serve as an expression for the themes really well, while also feeling like actual humans and characters. So for me, this company goes to Orb out of these nominees here. Now on to the main awards. Short film of the year. Unfortunately, I've only seen the first 2. It's a bit of a an odd space for me. I don't end up tapping into a lot of short films unless it kind of just appears on my timeline. I've heard of some of these, like Bottled Insects, Aka no Kyoku, and the Fake Grand Order FGO movie, but I can't bring myself to sort of vote in this category here when I only know those two, and I'm not particularly like strong on them. I think the Road Dragon preview is fun, but I think there's probably other things from this year that could have landed in this category, so it's going to move on to music video. Again, no Ave Mujica, because I think Imprisoned or Crucifix absolutely could have, their music videos absolutely could have made it into this. Saying that, Monitoring is great, Watch Me is great, Holy Money World is incredible, Tsuki Tsuki Daisuki is good, Daida Daikirai, good as well, Kunomeku Bansaku is also awesome. I'm unfamiliar with those ones, but Martian is for me the music video of the year. I would vote for that even if there were Ave Mujica stuff here as well, and other stuff I really like, like some Eve and Azutamayo productions, but Martian is a super cool concept. It's very simple, but it's super fun, super quirky, super likable, really charming, great rotoscope animation. Yeah, Martian for me. And movie of the year. Okay, what I've watched here, I've watched them all except the My Hero Academia movie, the Otokonoko movie, and the Bakeneko movie. I've heard good things about the Bakeneko movie. Also good things about this show as well. Unfortunately, Sufunkan no Yaluo was quite disappointing. It didn't do much for me. Visually it was quite interesting, very unique, but as a drama, as a sort of movie, not much there for me to get excited about. Cocoon was amazing. Love Live movie is good fun. I don't know why this is here. It's not really a movie. I'm surprised 100 meters isn't here. That's kind of insane now that I think about it. But it's between Chainsaw Man, Mononoke, Cocoon, and Kimi no Ero. I think Mononoke and Cocoon are sort of here. Chainsaw Man and Kimi no Ero are a level above them. So it's between Chainsaw Man and Kimi no Ero. It's a hard choice. I think Kimi no Ero has more stuff interesting going on visually and thematically. It's a much more movie that's up my alley, given it's Yamada, this sort of high school drama music integrated as well. But the Chainsaw Man movie, it's a phenomenon. It's an incredible experience. Got to watch it with my dad in the IMAX theatre. We both loved it. Obviously, I've rewatched it a few times as well. But I think Kimi no Ero just beats it out for me. The themes they sort of touched upon, the general sort of coming of age story, and the main trio was super fun. It was quirky, it was unique. The characters felt incredibly human with the character animation and the acting. While it's hard to compare a movie like Chainsaw Man and Kimi no Ero, they're completely like separate entities. I prefer Kimi no Ero here. Yamada can just do no wrong, unfortunately. So yeah. And Anime of the Year. And look who's here. Look who has arrived in the last category, the very last nomination, other than drama I think they were in. You know what this is. You know what is winning here. It's Ave Mujica, obviously. Shoshimin, I think it's close behind. Orb, Season 2 as well, both great. Dandadan Season 2 got a bit too many nominations for my liking, but whatever. It's interesting, Idleland pretty proud here. I've not really heard of it. It's interesting to see it here despite not having any nominations in other categories. But I have to go with Ave Mujica here, obviously. And that is the awards. I don't know if I can move on actually without voting for the other ones. So we're just going to vote for Ruby Dragon and Adventure. If I had to guess out of all of these which one I'm looking at just here looks the best, I think this does. I don't know what it is. I might actually get in, check it out afterwards. I'm just going to wait for that. And I guess if I press on that, there we go. There we have it. I'll make sure to scroll so you can see. Hopefully it's not covering music video of the year, Martian, short film of the year, Rouge Dragon PV, movie of the year, Community Album of the year, Album Mujika, and the rest. Hopefully you can see there. So yeah, that was voting. I think it took a little bit longer than I expected, but let me know your picks. Let me know where I went wrong. Let me know if you disagree with anything like this. Just let me know your thoughts in general. I'm very happy to discuss the anime review last year especially. Please do leave your thoughts and comments, and thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys, kind of scroll down so we can see the movie of the year and anime of the year, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.